What's going on, squad? Thank you for tuning back in to Network 51 and welcome back to The Garage. That's right. I think I'm going to call it The Garage because that is literally, and I mean literally, where I am right now. And it is about 30 degrees in here, but I'm doing this for you. So check this out. I was online just doing a bit of deep diving, trying to find topics to bring to you, interesting topics that, that are worth discussion. And I came across an episode of The View. And upon watching this episode of The View, it had me hot. And I'm going to show you why in a moment. What I can say just a warning, there's going to be a little bit of pause and go just to give me an opportunity to express myself about what you're about to hear during this particular episode. It's been marginalized down to one particular topic of the episode, but I'm going to preface this by saying lately, there's a lot of talk about relationships as it pertains to what men bring to the table and high-valued men and what women want in men and things of that nature. And it's widespread right now. But keep that in mind. I'm going to show you an episode of The View, or a shortened episode of The View, and it was primarily based around men and what the panel of The View felt about men, along with a few people that they canvassed in regards to whether men needed women and women needed men. Pay attention to this. And like I said, there's going to be some stop and go just to give me an opportunity to vent. And let's get into it. Check this out.
So there's this clip going viral online of a dozen women being asked the following question. Do we need men? Most answered very quickly, no. And only one said she thought women needed a man in their lives, only one. But when men were asked a similar question, do we need women, most of them said yes. So why do you think that is?
Because men are useless. I mean, love it. And by the way, I want to differentiate between straight men and gay men, because I think I would die without gay men. Nobody can gossip like gay men. Nobody can help you accessorize like gay men. Nobody can help you keep you from doing harm to yourself like gay men. But
Okay, let's pause right there. So what I'm hearing right now is that straight men are useless. Now, this is not any shots toward the gay or LGBT plus community. This is not a shot at women. This is myself standing up for men. And that statement in which she made was that men are useless, basically straight men are useless. She'd rather have gay men in her life because they could help her accessorize. They could help her. They're good gossipers, and they would keep her from harming herself. That's the only reason she would need men, and there would be gay men. So as far as the rest of us, we're useless. Keep that in mind, and basically keep her in mind as well, because she's a she's a firecracker. So let me keep this going.
But with the exception of somebody like Steve, I think Steve is very self-sufficient.
That's Joy's husband.
But like
He
my
is.
husband, it takes a village of women to make sure that he's not emaciated, starving, and living in his own filth. He can,
Really?
Yeah.
How about you?
Okay, I'm going to pause again. So with this particular platform that they have a national platform. At this particular point, it would be an international platform. And you've taken the time out to address millions of people that your husband is a good for nothing. It requires a lot of women for him to make sure he wasn't sitting in his own filth. that is how you categorize your husband. I'm going to keep this going right now because I hope she had a long ride home, and I mean a long ride home with no radio playing. Because that in my house, given that opportunity where my wife would have the ability to express herself about how she feels about me, and that is what she would let everybody know, that's a problem. Let's keep it going.
No, but I feel you guys are married to people that are more.
I have Handy Manny at home. He fixes everything. When things go bump in the night, he's the one that goes downstairs. When there's a bug to be exterminated, he does the extermination.
Nope.
When there is something to be fixed, he fixes it. He throws out the trash and he throws out the recyclables. I enjoy all the man stuff.
So
he does at
Wait
home.
a second. I know what you're going to say. But wait. She's really talking about a servant, let's face it.
No.
It's a handyman she's talking
no,
about.
it's a handy manny.
Oh, it's a handyman with benefits.
We do not have.
Well, but the things that you're describing, you could pay somebody to do that. We're not talking about that. What about the inner life of a man? That's what this is about.
I need.
Time out. We're not talking about the inner life of a man. And first of all, Sonny should have checked Joy right there, because Sonny was giving her husband his flowers, letting the rest of the panel know that her man was there to do the man things. When there's a bump in the night, hey, honey, I heard something. Guess who's jumping up to go check to make sure the household is safe? That's your husband. Whoever does the exterminating, whoever's fixing the car, cleaning out the gutters. It doesn't matter. Those things, and I'm not saying that women can't do them. I'm saying that those are, historically speaking, and in modern times as well, those are the man's job. When she's giving her husband praise, it is not your job to turn around and tell her, no, that's a servant. No, that's how she's explaining her husband, their relationship. You don't have the right to come in and re-justify or basically reword what I just said to fit your own narrative. So, like I said, y'all, I'm a little hot here, but we're going to keep it going because it does not stop.
I need my man 3 to 4 times a week. And
Good for you guys.
and then the rest of the time I need a wife. Because I've always said that.
Everyone needs a wife.
No, I tease Vicky, my producer, in the morning. I was like, if you'd like to join Max and I, not in that way, but like Vicky and I could kill it as a household runners. Like we would be laughing, giggling, doing all the things, and Max would be so psyched I was wasting all my words somewhere else anyway. So it would be a perfect combo. And the other day, Caleb said to me, this is my youngest son, he said, Mama, I want a spare mom. And I didn't know what he meant. And he's like, he said, Genevieve has a spare mom. And I realized the parents were
that, a
divorced.
nanny?
No, divorced. An extra mom,
stepmom.
like 2 moms. And so I asked him, because at first I was a little wounded. I was like, what am I not doing? You know, and he's like, no, I just think at bedtime, you always have to pay attention to the other kids too. And if we had a spare mom, Dad and you could, you know, then you just get to focus on me. And it was so sweet. He didn't ask for a spare dad, by the way. He asked for a spare mom.
I took this totally.
Okay, time out, because I got something for that too. He didn't ask for a spare dad because he didn't need a spare dad. He didn't need a spare dad because dad number one was doing what he needs to be done, doing what needs to be done. He didn't feel left out because of anything that dad was doing. But apparently, whatever you're doing regarding that child requires help. So I'm sorry, that wasn't a flex. That was not a flex. But again, as she stated, she needs her husband 3 to 4 times a week, and we know what that's about. And the rest of the time, she could use a woman to help run their household. I'm not sure if we're, and maybe I'm conspiracy theorizing when it comes to this, but this is what we're projecting onto a large group of people based on this platform of The View. A large group of people. So far, there's only one woman on this panel that is speaking positively about men and men in her life, or the man in her life, and her interaction with that particular man. I got 3 on the stage, four on the stage, but 3 of them already right now are talking about how useless men are. Let's keep it going.
Totally differently in how I prep,
Yeah.
because broadly speaking, I feel like men have proven largely useless. Like, I think in the political moment, the people who are
Guys, don't hold
saying
back.
what needs to be said in my party, it's all women. The very few men, with the exception of Mike Pence and a few others, are saying what they need to. But in life, like, I need my husband. I don't know if I need any other men, but he is irreplaceable.
Yeah, I think so.
But that's what we're all saying. We
Okay, time out. Now, when she says she needs her husband and no other men, her husband is the only man she needs and no other men, she gets the aw. But when Sonny was explaining her man to them, she got, he's a servant. That's not a husband, that's a servant. And whatever he's doing for you, we could pay for that. Well, truth be told, if the tables were turned, we could pay for what women do as well. But that's not the conversation. The conversation is why we don't want to pay for that, why we choose to be with the people that we're with, because this is the union that we chose to have. This is the person that we love. This is the person that we want to spend the rest of our lives with. So again, y'all, this is, like I said, it's got me heated because the first one said that men are useless. And also this particular host said men are useless as well. Joy called Sonny's husband a servant, not a husband because of what he does. Then we get another host saying that she just needs her husband 3 or 4 times a week for that special time, and she could run her house with another woman. Let's keep it running.
like our husbands, we just don't need men beyond that.
Yeah, wait till you're married 20 years and you'll see how replaceable
Well, the
they
reason
are.
that women, I think that the reason women can stay married for as long as they do is because they have a lot of girlfriends.
They have a village.
They have girlfriends. Because I always have to initiate the conversations. He'll step up, but I have
I
to
thought you were going
start
to say
them.
initiate.
Oh, I don't-
was like,
I just
don't
told
have
you
to
guys,
say.
I have 8 girlfriends from Panama here who are girlfriends for 50 years since they were in kindergarten.
Oh, I love
And it's
that.
and they were saying yesterday that they've gone through divorces, they've gone through challenges, and having that village of women has made it possible
Well, we
for
are
them.
more collaborative than men. I think
Yeah.
there have been studies that say that women have much closer friendship relationships than men do.
Because women
Again, I
have
think we have to make a
because
difference,
women,
differentiate gay men.
No, gay men are
Are in their own category.
yeah, but we're
Women are
not
more
married to gay
independent.
men, okay?
Oh,
But women have conversations about their feelings. Men talk about
It's
sports,
socializing, yeah.
cars, all that stuff.
I don't know. My husband talks about his feelings with his
Maybe he's
friends.
gay. Next.
So again, Sonny says, well, after Joy says women talk about our feelings, men talk about sports, and who told you that? Because again, this is a woman telling other women what men feel and what men are talking about without having the man involved in the conversation to correct the conversation. This is one of the things I have a problem with. Now, when Sonny said, my man talks about his feelings with his male friends, Joy's response immediately was, maybe he's gay. So here we go again. We have women that are putting men in positions where they're saying they're not talking about their feelings. They're not going to therapy. They're not becoming in tune with themselves and their emotions. But when it's announced that that is the situation, the tables are turned to say, oh, then he's gay. And you wonder why men do not express themselves to their women. You wonder why Joy has to initiate conversations with her man. And he doesn't bring up conversations because he probably doesn't want to talk to her. Because guess what? If he starts talking to her and expressing himself, guess what she thinks he is? Gay. So again, and I'm sorry, this episode has me super heated. I'm going to leave it there. And let you guys hit me up in the comments and let me know if what I'm thinking, if I'm reaching, because I do not feel that I'm reaching. I know somebody may say, well, no, they were just telling jokes. No, they're not telling jokes because they never corrected themselves. They never corrected themselves at all. The only one on that stage that stood up for men to me was Sonny. Now, this is a question I have for the women on the panel who said men are useless. Can you imagine that the men in that room that they're in right now, if they turned off those cameras and walked out, would it be far-fetched for me, or would it be far-fetched for you to believe that the chair you're sitting in was, chances are, made by a man? Could have been a woman, but chances are it was made by a man. Could it be far-fetched for you to think that the studio that you're sitting in right now was constructed by a bunch of men and some women, but by a bunch of men? Would it be far-fetched for you to think that the building that you're in, which houses the studio that you're in, which houses the chair that you're sitting on, was built by men? Maybe. And some women, but a lot of men. Would it be far-fetched for you to think that the street that your building lies on, which houses the studio that you're in, which houses that chair that you're sitting on, was also built and constructed by men? So for this panel to say men are rendered useless is the audacity. I have an issue with the way that media is portraying men. And again, this is not a knock at the gay community at all. At all. This is not even a knock at women. But this is a knock at this panel, at least 4 members of this panel spewing this. And I am so glad that Whoopi wasn't on the stage. I'm hoping. And if you guys check this episode out, you can find it on YouTube. If you guys check this episode out, I went through the comments. And I had to run to the comments. I read at least the first 150 comments. I didn't skip any. There was not one, not a single person that agreed with this panel. Not a single comment, not one. Now, don't get me wrong. There was thousands of comments there. I read probably, like I said, the first 150. I had to stop after that point. But nobody agreed with them. So again, let me know if I'm reaching. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about what you heard. And we'll move on from there. Other than that, I'm out.
Back and I'm better than ever. Whoa. I think I got a vendetta. Oh, now they call me, I seen them. Yeah. All of those times getting severed. I told them all I can let up. Begging, I taught to be never. Yeah. Give me a shot and I